What's up, YouTube? Eugene here, and I've got my top 5 gourmand perfumes for January. And I'm not your typical gourmand enthusiast. I don't reach for them. I don't care for sticky, sweet fragrances. But come January, when it is bitter cold here in Toronto, it's excruciatingly painful some days. I want something that's going to keep me warm and cozy. I want something that's sweet and sticky and protect me from the climate. I also want to get away from eating my sweet foods, especially coming off of December and the holidays. And just, I want to cut those calories. I want to shed that weight. So I'd much rather be wearing the perfumes. I'd much rather be wearing the sweet notes than eating them. And this is going to help me from cutting those sweet foods. But anyway, these aren't just gourmand. There's a lot more depth to these, but they definitely have gourmand elements where, they resemble food or they resemble sweets. And if I'm ever going to wear them, it's going to be now in these harsher climates. But the first one is from Hermes. This is Hermescence Ombre Narguilé, which is supposed to resemble like a smoked hookah or an apple pie. And this is an amber themed perfume, very woody, sticky. It is sweet. There's tobacco in the base, vanilla, spices, very spicy. It's a spicy oriental gourmand. Cinnamon, clove. You've got that. It is very apple pie-ish to me, and it reminds me of a time where I came home from work one day. And I had asked my wife if my mom was here because the kitchen had smelt like her apple strudel. It was just so strange. I was like, why does it smell like apple strudel here? It's like my mom was just here. So I'd called my wife and said, was my mom here? And she said, no, why? I said, because the kitchen smells like her apple strudel, very smoky apple strudel. And she says, no. And I said, oh, that's weird. It didn't make any sense to me. And then it just came up that she had sprayed Ombre Narguilé. And I was like, wow, really? That's so interesting. And she had left the house about an hour before I had come home. So I definitely get sweet, cinnamony apple pie from this, along with sticky, resiny notes, very smoky, tobaccos and ambers. And I really think this is one of Jean-Claude Elena's masterpieces. It just works for me, and I love it in the cold weather as it keeps me warm and cozy and comfy. So there you go. Ombre Narguilé. Ta-da! All right, number 2 we have, and these are just in random order, nothing fancy. This is from Frédéric Malle. His collaboration with Dries Van Noten, the fashion designer, who's from Belgium, also very harsh weather conditions. And Dries wanted to create something that would protect him from the cold rain and coming into a cafe or a bistro type setting and sitting down next to a fireplace, enjoying his warm tea and biscuits. And this is a sandalwood perfume, a based perfume. And I'm not sure if it's a synthetic sandalwood or real. I would guess it is synthetic. It doesn't feel like a Mysore, or it doesn't have the harsh, dry, woody elements of an Indian or a Australian sandalwood, but it does have a lot of milky, warm, creamy facets to it, exactly the way sandalwood would display. But this is also very, it's dry and sweet, it's smoky, it's resinous, it's incensey. It has, the smoked tea, the milky tea. It has a lot of milky aspects to it, very woody, and also has, that milky, warm, vanilla biscuit. I can literally taste the biscuit in this. It's like those S-shaped biscuits. I'm not sure if those are worldwide famous or if they're just cookies available to us here locally, but if you know what I mean, S-shaped biscuits with like it's got that almost like a lemon frosting on top. But this is fantastic. This is super warm and cozy. And I remember the day that I had reviewed this, I had gotten out of bed and it was like bitter cold outside. It was raining and I didn't want to go to work. And I was like, oh man, I need a really good perfume to protect me from today. And this came to mind instantly. And it just kind of replicates that warmth and that coziness from a nice, warm, dry bed. So DRIES, check this out. Really beautiful fragrance. So next I'm going to go with, and this is one of my favorite modern Guerlains. This is Mon Exclusive. This was the pilot program to Mon Guerlain. So before Mon Guerlain was even a thing, this had been out for a few years. And they were testing this in, I guess it was like random Guerlain boutiques or Guerlain counters. And it was very low key. It was very hush. And, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of hubbub going on around this, but I remember smelling it and being like, wow, I really love this for a sweet fragrance. I was blown away. So this, you know, from I guess it was a market test is what this was, and they were just kind of waiting on the feedback from consumers. And the feedback was quite positive. They turned it into Mon Guerlain, and that's when the whole Angelina Jolie thing came into effect. But once this was discontinued after Mon Guerlain, they flooded the discounter market with this, and you could get it about half the price. But this is really, it's very similar to Mon Guerlain. It's a little bit more, it's got a little bit more kick to it and oomph. It's not 100% the same, but I feel like it's a little slightly more challenging. Not that it's challenging at all, but it's not as mass appealing as Mon Guerlain, and it's very, you know, it's got that lavender, it's got that herbal lavender, very caramelly and toffee, you know, like smoked burnt toffee, vanilla. It's got that cotton candy ethyl maltol to it, very buttery, almost like buttery popcorn. You know, it's got Terry Wasser's tobacco Accord, his signature tobacco, which he also uses in L'Homme Ideal. It's just, again, very warm and cozy and soothing perfume. It's got that vanilla, it's got the tonka and the almond, and it almost like that combination almost makes for a crunchy, like the almond and tonka is just like, it makes for this crunchy toffee. You know, I can almost feel like I'm crunching on this almond tonka toffee note. So it is very gourmandy and foodie and sweet, but it's got depth to it. It's got some incense and dry lavender and herbalness, and it's got that tobacco as well, very woody. Beautiful fragrance. I love this. I love Mon Guerlain just as well. I think the whole Angelina Jolie threw off a lot of the Guerlainophiles, and that's where they lost base with a lot of people. All right, next, this is Eau Noire, and I'm not sure if this is classified as a gourmand, but I definitely see a lot of sweet, foodie elements to this. This is quite gothic, and I would say this is very cultish in the underground, you know, Dior lovers. It's not very often spoken about. You know, just look at the color of you never see perfume this color. It reminds me of either, you know, the Incredible Hulk or Green Goblin, or just something really sticky, very strange looking, gothic, weird. You know, it's very abnormal in today's market. But this is a lavender. It's almost, I wouldn't call it a fougere. I mean, it's got that herbal qualities to it. And it's almost like this weird mix of gourmand, fougere, oriental, because it's got aspects of everything. And the gourmand thing going on here, you know, you've got your licorice and anise, a strange combination of both. You've got, it's almost like this maple syrup that really makes this gourmand. It's just, I don't know, it's strange but so well done at the same time. It's this sticky, sparkling, incensey maple syrup note that kind of it kind of holds, you know, the lavender together. You got your warm, dry lavender, and then you've got, it's almost like lavender's landed inside of this vat of sticky maple syrupness. But then you've also got this weird strawberry note. There's a coffee in here. There's curry, you know, spices of curry. So you got this mishmash of these foodie notes, but they all come together so well done. And it's, you know, the base is obviously very woody. You've got your vanillas in here. I don't get much sweetness from the vanilla. It's mostly from the maple syrup and licorice, but it's a fantastic fragrance. I mean, if you can deal with this, it is one of the more heavier lavenders that I'm aware of. You know, if you're comparing to things like, let's say, Brine de Réglisse or GUCCIE from Guerlain, this is much more heavier. It's much more full-bodied and dense, and just all around much more stranger. Beautiful fragrance. I love this. It's super warm and cozy, and can actually repel some people if you get too close. But I don't find it repelling at all, actually. I love this stuff. It's just really nice. A nice sticky lavender, if I will. I think that was 4. I've got one more. All right, the next, and I've talked about the Gucci Alchemist Garden to death, and I'm not done. I'm absolutely obsessed with this whole line, and I love everything about it. And this is the Eye of the Tiger, or the Eyes of the Tiger. And this is, to me, you know, it is an amber themed perfume. This is their Oriental, gourmand Oriental, very woody. And it seems like this is all base notes. I don't get a top to this fragrance. And I think I called this almost linear, or it's not got much depth to it, or it doesn't evolve a whole lot, but it is a very thick perfume. I find it's just really base notes, very heavy, rich Oriental base notes with gourmand quality. So it's got that, it's very sweet. It's almost got this sugary aspect to it. And it's got this gumminess, like gummy resins. So I think the note accord is amber, labdanum, and vanilla. And the labdanum's very sticky. It's got this resinous quality that are gummy, and I almost feel like I'm chewing on gummy resins. And the vanilla is just, it definitely feels gourmand. It feels like I've walked into a house that's just been baking some kind of vanilla treat. So I can definitely feel like a warm stove that's just gone off, and vanilla treats are coming out. There's a little bit of leather in here to offset all that, or kind of bring everything together. But it's smoky, it's warm, it's cozy and comforting. Very beautiful perfume. I love it. Like I'm obsessed with the whole line. Yeah, smoky, incensey, all those very thick, rich base notes. A lot of sticky resins. So there it is. The Gucci's Eye of the Tiger. And those are 5 perfumes that I'll be wearing for January, even well into February, to keep me warm, cozy, and keep me away, hopefully, from those cookies. Anyway, let me know what you guys will be wearing, what gourmands, if any at all, and I'll see you down in the comments. I want to thank you for watching, and we will see you again soon. Bye.